You had your own thoughts on.
Well, both. Uh, Two things can be true. I mean, I think things can get worse if we continue to go down the path of one, not being smart about who we vote for, and finding somebody that's going to do right by us, and trying to make the right decision as far as politicians go, because they're important. Voting is important. And people go, why is it important? Because these guys ain't doing nothing for me. If it wasn't so important, then the Republicans wouldn't be working so hard to try to get black people not to go to the polls. Because Republicans spend more energy trying to get black people not to go vote than they do to get people to vote for them. You never hear Republicans go vote for us. They don't care if you vote for them, but they don't want you to vote. Period. They don't care if you don't vote for them. I never see an ad with Republicans begging black people to come vote for them. Democrats do that, and we know why. Like Information Man said earlier, they'll be out getting out, trying to get out votes, next year and all that
because
sort of
they
stuff, and
target
all the radio
us.
shows and all that stuff. Yeah, but you don't see Republicans going, "Hey, black people, please vote for me." Even black Republicans, like Tim Scott, he don't give a rat's ass about black people vote for him. He started his campaign uh, in a town where the Civil War started. You know, he don't care about Tim Scott can care less about black votes. That's not who he's trying to. He's trying to be another person that's going to be trying to be Donald Trump's vice president. You know,
This is
that's his
why.
main goal. So
But
do I think things are getting worse? They will get worse, and things have been worse since. Uh, Look, President Obama is probably one of the worst things that happened to this country, and I say that because it opened up Pandora's box for Trump and what we have now, January 6th. Uh, you got to think hate crimes in America is up
Since
against
Obama, yeah, the hate
since
crimes is
against
ridiculous.
blacks. Since Trump been in office, hate crimes have went up on blacks, Jews, Asian people. Hate crimes are up. You know, um, mass shootings are up. Uh, Everything's up. You know, so in a sense, we're not getting better. But I have to believe that there's lots of Jane Elliott's out there and white people that would wish this thing called racism would go away. That I think there's
We
people white
all
don't
wish
want
it
there's
would
white
go
people that don't
away.
want their kids. There are white people that don't want their kids to grow up in a country with people that think like Trump and his followers. I
Well,
believe
they
I
shouldn't raise them like that either.
I meet them.
Well,
I meet them. I deal with them. I deal with white people all the time. Some of them are very imperfect. Some of them are very nasty and mean. But I meet lots of nice white people. I meet black people that are assholes. you know, so it ain't just white
so
people. I
do you
meet everybody.
do you think Republicans don't like black people and they'll say it or they'll show you we don't like black people, but Democrats don't like black people, but they'll give you a hug and a smile, but still don't like you.
Yeah, one is
Of
covered up,
course,
one is not.
of course. There are plenty of racist Democrats. All racist people ain't just Republicans. They're
Right.
racist Democrats.
I
But you
mean,
mean in office? Yeah, you see, as Information Man pointed out earlier, you see white Democrats that are trying to sabotage Kamala Harris because they don't want to see her,
so
Nancy Pelosi and all these people. They don't want to see her become president.
what I'm saying, it doesn't make a difference whether black people vote for Republican or Democrats. The Republican.
I believe there's a lesser of two evils. I mean, yeah, you have to. There's a lesser of two evils. You have to vote for one of them, Tiff. You just can't not vote. I mean, you can. You're a
I
grown
didn't
woman.
Now,
say we
You're a
not
what I'm
grown
supposed
woman.
to
You can do what
vote.
you want to do. You're a grown woman. You don't have to vote. You do what you want to
what
do.
but
I'm saying is,
You owe me no
but
explanation. I'm
but
We
just
let,
need to
saying
have. We need to
we
put
have to
people in
vote
office.
let me
because
ask this question
too many
when you're
people
finished.
died for us not to go to the polls and vote. So we're gonna go. All right, Trump sucks. Biden sucks. I'm gonna sit home and watch Netflix on vote night. We got to go out and vote. There's
No,
somebody laying in the grave right now that didn't see the age of 30 because
Mega
they went
Evans,
out in the
we
streets
know
to
But I
make
don't
that.
sure
think.
we had the.
I,
They went out in the streets,
yeah.
Mega Eggers, and all these people went out in the streets to make sure we had the
We
right to go to the
understand that.
polls.
Let me
But
just say this. I don't think that black people see. This is the thing that I hear us say all the time that I wish we would stop saying, and it's all due respect. This is how they guilt trip us. They say your ancestors, not you. I'm just saying in general, though, brother, that our ancestors died for the vote. No, they didn't. Black people were dying because they wanted freedom. The vote had nothing. Black people were being killed when we obeyed the law. Black men were being killed when they came back from the war in World War II, minding their own. Black people, no matter what we do, whether we are good citizens, we vote, whatever black people have done in this country, we have still been killed for. I don't think my ancestors simply died for a damn vote. They died trying to get us freedom, however that freedom comes. So I think we gotta, because this is the thing. At the end of the day, both these political parties are one and the same. You know that. One's a left bird, one's a right wing. They're both the same. They both play games with us. And I think black people, unlike other groups that sort of vote based on the issues, I think too often black people, we vote on emotional issues. We vote emotionally instead of voting who's going to give us the best opportunity if we are going to vote, right? So oftentimes other black people will shame other black people and say, well, like black men, a lot of black men do not want to vote or are turning away from the Democratic Party because some of us are saying, wait a minute. Where is our agenda? So, yeah, Trump is a piece of garbage. The Republicans are a piece of garbage. I think at the end of the day, our whole political system is broken.
I agree.
And because it's broken, it ain't voting for the worst of the two evils. You're always voting for evil, trying to make a damn way for yourself. But this is the interesting thing, brother. Tell me, isn't it interesting how certain ethnic groups that have their own community, they have economic conspiracy in their community, they're doing well economically, they have banks, they're trading amongst each other. I saw this in San Francisco. How often do you hear Asian people whining and crying about politics? You know why? Because they got their own banks, their own community. They keep the money circulating in their community, and therefore they don't have to go out and beg politicians for any damn thing. I got to be honest. Black people are probably the only people in America in general now who do the most whining about politics. Because you know why? You know this, because we ain't got nothing. And when you don't have anything, you lean on an institution that says they're going to do everything for you. And you know how black people are treated politically, brother? We're all Charlie Brown. What happened to Charlie Brown on Halloween? He went to the door, he had a paper bag, and they threw what in his bag? Rocks. That's what these politicians continue to do to black people. Even when we vote for them, Republican or Democrat, you get rocks in your bag.
Why do we come back for more?
Because it's a thing called, we have some, because at the end of the day, black people, because we are some of the most patriotic people in this country, deep down in our soul, we think the day is coming when the society is going to say, we love y'all, we respect y'all, we let you into our bosoms. We think we kind of believe in the system. And you know why we believe in it more than anybody? Because we've been here longer than anybody. Right? We fought in every war. So our blood is in this soil. So we have an emotional connection to what this country owes us, which is why we do cry and whine about things, because we feel, and we are truly true about this, the country owes us something, but they keep treating us like used shoes. When you go out and buy shoes, brand new shoes, what do you do to the new shoes? You heard this on Joe Madison's show. You throw the old shoes to the back of your closet and put your new shoes. So we're treated like that too. I'll stop there.
All right. Well, I'll pick up where you picked off real quickly. All right. So you're on point, and you gave a grim assessment of things.
I know.
So
I'm sorry. I did give a grim.
No, it's the truth. You can't lie, and you told the truth. So how about we just on November 8th of 2024, we all just sit at home and watch Netflix. Fuck voting.
Oh, stop. now you trying to tell us not to vote. We still gotta vote
No,
regardless, but
no, we don't have
we
to
need
do
to put
anything.
more
We
of
just say
our
we
people
don't do
in
anything.
there
Joe
in the
Biden
political
sucks,
system.
Kamala Harris sucks, and Trump sucks. So let's just stay
But,
home. Why are we voting for if
okay,
everybody sucks? If everybody sucks, why are we voting?
so when
Somebody answer that question for me.
okay, so
We
when
being real light skinned right now.
Who's answering that question?
so when Republicans didn't like the Republicans, they started what, the Tea Party, right? They started the Tea Party and put people in office, right? They voted for people who had their agenda at heart. Why can't black people do that? Why can't we say, you know what, this Democratic Party, decade after decade after decade, is not really, forcing our agenda? And there are things specific for black people. We can't deny that. There are things that black people need specifically. So why don't we put the people in there that would address that specifically?
Yeah, that's why I want to adopt a white kid and raise him black and have him go into office so we can get what we need.
Oh God. Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you, yeah. On a serious note, we need to put more of our people. And Dr. Claude Anderson talked about this, how we have to put our money as black people,
We
and
are
we have to
afraid
be
though.
as a unit and put it into a political official that is going to deal with our issues, just like they did it for the LGBT. They dealt with their issues. The same thing with the Asian community. They gave them money to deal with their issues. We need to stop showboat and being all over the place, showing our wealth, and start putting our money into things that's going to help us and it's going to benefit us, especially for the future of our children.
Okay, we got Gregory Calloway on YouTube. He says, "What money? Well,
Hey,
what money?"
let me make this announcement. Everybody that's come over, I want everybody to definitely subscribe to the Black Therapy channel. So everyone who's come into into the stream, I'm actually broadcasting, or this is their stream that's being broadcast into my channel right now by way of Yard Streams. Yard Streams allows you to connect channels together this way. And I think maybe, Carl, I think we're going to start doing this more often because I need my people to get over to your channel, subscribe, and give you guys support. So I think, Carl, I'm going to start doing this more often, making the decision today. Usually I go live on Sunday. I haven't gone live the last 2 weeks because I've had some other things I've been dealing with, and I got to
Is he frozen?
He
No, I
froze.
thought it was all. I
I
thought we
thought
all had
all
the
y'all
Mitch
froze. Everybody
McConnell.
got quiet. I'm like,
He
somebody
got the
move.
Mitch
yeah,
McConnell.
Are you back?
back on.
Yeah, you froze, brother. Okay.
He's coming out. Wait.
He's coming
Oh,
back.
there you go.
I'm having some technical problems here.
All right.
Because you trying to network. It's a white man. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Welcome everybody. Thank you for coming.
Sorry.
He's
Yeah, dude, our viewership tripled.
All right. Yeah, there's some technical problems happening here. I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to say that I think I still go live. I'm still going to be going live on Sundays on my main channel, but I've been doing some things on my sports channel the last couple of weeks, and the channel's doing really well over there. But I just wanted to say that every now and then I'm going to connect your broadcast to my channel as another way to promote what you're doing over here. More people need to get eyes on it and get people to subscribe to your channel. So those of you that are in the chat room right now, do me the biggest favor. This is a great channel. They talk really about really hard hitting issues. Subscribe to the Black Therapy channel. Subscribe to the Black Therapy channel. I'll put a link in the description of this video on my channel as well when this is over. So I'm going to stop right there and carry on, host.
Thank you, bro.
So I was asking, why don't black people break off and start like how the Republicans started the Tea Party, right? The Republicans weren't doing what they wanted, so they started their own thing, and they put people in office. The Tea Party actually put people in office. So if decade after decade, the Democrats are not doing anything for black people, and what is it do black people need? What do we need? If we had to say, I want the Democratic Party to do this for us, what is it exactly that they're not doing?
Better job wages. I know that the job wages need to it needs to go up. Healthcare. A lot of people out there, especially in the southern states, cannot get no type of health care.
So what
Okay.
you're
Oh,
so
wait. That's America. That's not just black issues. That's white people don't have health insurance either. There's white people who get the same wages too. So that's an American problem, not just that's not a black problem. That's an American problem. Like wages suck for
No, but they be
all
getting
middle
on
class.
us worse because yeah, white people have their issue. I understand that, but I'm not worrying about their white issues. I'm worrying about our black issues
I
because my
understand that.
sister is working at a restaurant and they will hire a dope fiend before they will make a dope fiend a manager before they'll make a black person that know what they're doing a manager. We're talking about things like that.
Well, I don't think politicians can change that. That's just individually racism assholes that's running stuff, right? So I don't think a president or senator can change what
For
happens in
health
the
care, we
restaurant.
need
Well, yeah,
better
healthcare,
health
yeah,
care, education.
that's true.
That's what I'm
But
talking
everybody
about.
does.
We
But you know
need
what?
better services dealing with
I
that.
agree. I agree. I agree with you, Tiffany.
Mental health. There's a lot of people walking around here ticky ticky boom boom.
I mean, to back up Tiffany on the healthcare, I mean, we showed a video. I don't know. I think that's the show you might have missed, Kevin. I showed a video where this guy was talking about the reason we have copays when you go to the doctor is because back in the Jim Crow days, they didn't want black people to get health care. So they attached the copay, they attached money to it. Healthcare was supposed to be free for all Americans, but they said if we do that, black people would survive longer. So the American government decided, you know what? If we put money on healthcare, black people will not be able to afford it and they will die sooner. And hopefully that's how we get rid of them.
Yes.
So they need to. So I'm Tiffany. Even though I know white people need health care too, they targeted us not to get health care, so hoping we
Right.
die. I mean, and stuff like that needs to come up. They need to bring stuff like that up.
Yeah.
You know,
And they asking them for almost $400 a month just to get health care in the South, and that's wrong. Because a lot of people be needing help or they don't want to go to the hospital because they know that they're going to be charged. So yes, I think that they need to fight more for health care, especially also in the community. A lot of these water systems need to be fixed. A lot of people are having toxic water, and don't even want to talk about Flint and Mississippi and all these different places where we want them to vote, but they vote and don't matter either because why? The whites are running their votes. They don't let them win.
Actually, black people need to vote more. We don't have enough black people voting.
I think
I
that
don't have
we do
I don't have the
vote.
numbers in front of me, but um, and I listen to Urban View, and I know Information Man listen to some of that channel too. But uh, most black people don't vote. We get on we complain about a lot of stuff, but we don't vote, and we don't vote for local elections. A lot of the things that you brought up, Tiff, like the water situation, yeah, that should go up to the top, but that's also local politicians. A lot of black people, they might go vote for the president, but a lot of black people don't go out and vote in the primaries. They don't go out and vote in the local elections and with their senators and congressmen and all those people, you know. So yeah, you got to vote for the smaller elections. They're actually more important than the big elections.
Yeah,
But we're not
you're
taught
right.
that though. We're not taught that, and we don't know that. A lot of our people don't know that, and they sleep on these local elections and these smaller elections, and they just think the president gonna get in the White House and do everything, But a lot of stuff that goes on in the community are local politicians, mayors and people below him and stuff like that. So we need to participate in all elections, not just the big ones. But black people don't vote. There's a lot of black people that just don't freaking vote, you know, and that's why uh, black people don't vote.
But there's always a cause and effect, and there is a effect as to why black people don't vote. I mean, you've heard all of them, I'm sure. I just think a lot of black people in general, or some, are losing trust in the system and losing hope and trust. As you see these politicians, I mean, check this out. You just had what's the politician? He got caught. They allege that he got caught with gold bars and all sort of things. It's like when we hear those sort of things, it turns us away from it, you know.
Yes, it does.
And because we see the corruption. Look at Clarence Thomas. Right now, you know that Clarence Thomas should be taken out of his position as a Supreme Court justice. This man is involved in all sorts of improprieties.
Yes.
Unbelievable. And I've always said for a long time that I believe that Supreme Court is corrupt. It has been corrupted. Those Supreme Court justices, some of them that are involved in this sort of stuff, are carousing with these corporations. And that's why we're getting the verdicts that we get from that court. So that's why I'm saying the system is so broken, and I wish there was a way that this could change overnight. But most of us won't be alive to see if it ever does change.
Let me kind of change course it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think black people in America have enough to survive on our own? Do you think we have enough where if we said to hell with everybody, you know, we just we just kind of create our own world? I said this to a white woman one time. She got upset with me and said that is not a good thing. I'm like, why can't we just create our own world and live in it and survive in it? Why are we so afraid? We got black billionaires who seem to be afraid of something. And I tell this story all the time about the guy from Shark Tank, the guy Damon Dash, his name, not Damon.
You talking about the one that did for Boo?
Yeah, Damon something. Anyway, he's worth like 400 million, almost 500 million dollars. And
Damon John, is it
Damon John? Yes. And when DMX died, Louis Farrakhan made a comment on Twitter, tweeted something about the set, but he liked Louis Farrakhan's tweet, and people got on him for liking Louis Farrakhan's tweet, and he deleted it and he apologized to the Jewish community because, you know, you have $400 million plus. What are you so afraid of?
Because they still signing his checks.
Why can't we just? You got $400 million.
That's enough checks. That's enough money to live the rest of your life and your relatives.
But you know that. But you got to look at who controls the system and the purse strings of this society. So yeah, you got $400 million, but what good is that $400 million if they control all the mechanisms of oppression? Mm-hmm. Like, for example, look at Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle was making a boatload of money, we can argue, when he was doing on Comedy Central, right?
Yes.
And then, I mean, some of you may know better than I do about what was going on behind the scenes, but I mean, what would compel a black man to leave? What did he get? Did he get a $25 million deal? Is that true or is that false?
More than that.
Right? But what what compelled Dave Chappelle to leave that money on the table? We know that he got tired of doing the comedy show, what have you. There was some things going on personal for them. But think about it. He left that money on the table and took a hiatus. There was what would make him do that? Is it his integrity? Or did he know that if he took that money, there would be certain conditions that would be put in place where they can say, you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't do this.
He said
don't
that.
talk back.
He said that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But I get what you're saying. You should be able to do whatever you want if you got that type of money. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just not him. I mean, and I know this is probably all just fantasy in my head, but this is the way I see the world and I see America. Whereas all the black people in America, we see every day how we're treated, right? We see it every day. We see cops shooting us. We see white people, doing stuff to us. but we still, for some reason, we can't get in the huddle. You say one thing. You saw what happened to Kanye West. Have anybody heard about Kanye West when he pissed off the Jews? What happened to him? All the Jews who were garbage men, Jews who were in the movies, Jews were plumbers. They all came together and said, "No, no, 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 Mister Kanye West, you're not going to talk about the Jews like that." And they just shut him down. But we don't seem to do that. You know what I mean? We seem to let people just abuse and talk and shoot, and we still kind of come back forgiving. You know what I mean? We seem to be a more forgiving.
It's in our nature to forgive if you look at our history. But then the bigger picture, you would have to wonder, how unified are black people in America and maybe even globally? I don't think that we are as unified as we think we are. I think we're divided by religion and ideologies. Someone says, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian. You see what I'm saying? We have black people that put themselves in these groups and we separate ourselves, right? You got black conservatives who spend most of their time talking about what's wrong with the black community. Right? So and then check this out. This shows you that we're not unified. Jewish people, other groups, even if they have different beliefs politically, they always work on one accord when it comes to something that benefits the whole, right? Black people in this country, we can't even freaking agree on the fact that we are owed reparations. We got black folks on YouTube that'll argue, oh, but if we give black people money, they gonna spend the money.
Damn right we're gonna spend it.
Last time I checked, let me see. White people do a lot of bankruptcy in this country. You had a private bank in Silicon Valley that went belly up. Oh, you had a president named George Bush Jr. who put this country damn near in bankrupt. We act as if black people is the only ones that mismanage our money. When you got
you know,
not to mention former President Trump, all the debt he's in and bankruptcies he's had over the years too. Yeah.
But he won't talk
probably
about
more than
that.
George Bush. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Doe Eyes, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Doe Eyes TV, DOE Eyes TV says envy is also a cause of division. We kind of envy each other, right?
Yeah, and it shouldn't be in there. We don't have you kept going in and out information, man. A lot of us wasn't raised with that unity, or it was ripped from us or separated, or like I said, we have our single mothers, we have single fathers, we have grandparents raising children. So we have a lot of separation, but we can't use that as an excuse now. Why? Because we are, like you said, we're in 2023 now. We have access to everything. If we need to learn something, we need to look up something, we need to read something, we need to fix something, it's right there at our access. So we can be able to make change, and we can be able to get help if we need assistance, mental, physical. We can be able to do it, but we have to push ourselves to do it and make it that our family is more important. Because what Jay-Z said, when the family feud, no one wins. And that goes for us as black people. We have to stop feuding with each other and start building. Look at that family, the people in Georgia. It's like 50 families went and bought 100 acres, 200 acres of land. That's what we need to be working on. We need to stop making public service announcements on everything that we do. Keep our mouth shut and go just do it. Because when you start telling everything, that's where all the player hate coming. Okay? Asian people don't do that. The Jewish community don't do that. They don't go tell you this is a public service announcement. We about to do all of this. You never let one hand know what the other hand is doing. So we need to start working more on, our family unity, black economics on periodly. Because like you said, in Asia, all these other cultures, they keep their money inside. And we're the one that spend the most on our self-hate.
Will we ever, though? I mean,
we're doing it slowly but surely.
We joke on this show and we say 100 years from now, there's going to be 4 different people talking about the same thing all over again.
I think I made mention of this too a few weeks ago on your show, Carl. I think our generation, the older generation, baby boomers, and Gen Xers to a certain degree, I think we're the ones that's caught up in a lot of this shit from the past. I think the younger generation, they're not as caught up with it as we are. I think these kids today are on a whole different wavelength, the way they think, how they interact with each other. Doesn't mean that racism doesn't exist, hate doesn't exist, but I think the younger generation's on something wholly, totally different. I think that black people, from the kids that I see out there, and I interviewed a young man.
You froze again.
We still here? Okay.
Yeah,
we still here.
we still here, dude.
And he be giving a good story.
Yeah.
Information man, come back to the light.
On my channel.
Go ahead, do it again. Say it again.
Yeah, you froze, bro.
You froze for a second.
You said some kid, something, some young man.
Go ahead, say it again. Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
He might have to go out and come back in.
Well,
Can you hear us?
We might lose the link to his. But we were talking about the youth and the youth. Are they millennials? Are they Gen Z? What are they? Are they millennials?
I think they're millenniums, right?
Millennials. Okay, so this millennial has something to say.
The problem with black people. A lot of y'all not finna like this, but y'all know I don't care. Now answer this. Would you get mad if you heard a white lady say, I hate black people? If the answer is yes, then why? You know how powerful you are. You know how strong you are. You love yourself. Why does it matter if somebody else doesn't like you? She's obviously ignorant. Have you argued with her or cussed her out? You're not doing shit but just feeding the stereotype. That's the problem. We got too much anger in us. We're the ones that gotta shoot people at every party. White people don't do that shit. You look at a black person, he mean mugging you. White people greet each other like, hey, how you doing, buddy? We got so much hate in our heart, and that's not our fault. But it is up to us to fix it. Think about this. If a white person rapping a song and he say the N-word, would you get mad? I understand that word holds weight. Why are you making yourself get mad knowing he's not saying that in a negative way? He's not thinking about slavery or black people or nothing like that in his head. He's just rapping the song. Think about when you say hoes. When you say hoes, are you thinking about prostitutes or are you just thinking about females? It's like you're automatically saying it without even having the thought of what it actually means. And just because somebody say an offensive word, how would you make yourself get mad knowing that's not what they intended? Now think about this. If you hang around me and I'm saying a word all the time, what you think you're going to end up saying? You're going to say that word because you subconsciously picked up on the word. So now you're just saying it without even meaning to. Same thing with white people in the N-word. We say it all the time. Most of them just saying it just like us. They're not thinking about slavery or black people or none of that. Now, white people, I'm not saying it's good to say it. I'm telling my people to stop getting so mad over that. We need to be working on coming together, not falling out over a word. If they say it with a hard ER or a hateful meaning behind it, then that's just disrespect. So you have to react however you need to the disrespect, because that's not tolerated. A lot of y'all gonna say, I don't know, real, you missed with this one. Y'all know I'm not here to be agreed with. This is my platform, so I'm gonna say whatever I want. If you don't like it, you can block me. But I love y'all. Real, you missed with this one.
All right, so I have to admit, but I thought my whole thoughts on that was because I wasn't born in America. But when somebody uses the N-word or says something derogatory towards black people, like I was like, why you get so mad? Like, why not just ignore them and go about your day? But I have to say this, after I learned about Jim Crow, because I learned about Jim Crow from doing this show, I'll be honest. I learned it from Kevin and Tiffany and the past panelists we had. I learned so much about Jim Crow in America and stuff just from doing this show. But I have to admit, I thought that the reason I don't get as heated about, derogatory terms to black people is because I didn't grow up with it. I grew up in the Caribbean.
Right.
So here's this black kid asking a question: why do we get so upset? Why do we want to fight?
In this because it's
why do we want to fight? Just from a word.
I like that first of all, I'm gonna be honest with you, the young people today, they are definitely not like us. Just like we wasn't the way our parents was. Like the different generation, you can see the changes and the openness. They are open and they're keeping it real. He would never understand because his age is probably a couple of pair of our shoes, 20 years old. Okay? He would never understand the real thing about the N-word or what we went through. A lot of young people are not taught the history of African American history. They're not taught that. We only learn a couple of people, as you know, Martin Luther King, Sojourner Truth. We're not taught a lot of that. You have to be taught that. So I can understand how he feel and how you feel also. But yes, I don't like it. I don't think anybody should say it because it didn't come from a good place. It came from a negative place. And yes, I understand